Hello, everybody. Today is Wednesday, January the 16th, I believe. Yeah. This is Amber with the Yams Talk Show. I'm doing a special edition of the Yams Talk Show this week. I may be doing this going forward at least once a week with all the hot topic issues that are happening. I wanted today to ask your opinion and tell me if you guys have been affected by the U.S. government shutdown that has been happening since December of 2018. Hello, Pearlie. Hello, Lorenzo. I want to know your thoughts today about the shutdown. What side of the fence are you on it? Does it matter to you? Do you understand why the government is shut down? Are you or someone in your family being affected by the shutdown? We know there are a lot of government agencies that are employees are being furloughed or not showing up to work. It is affecting the National Transportation Association, the TSA. The airports are the officers, the security officers are not reporting to work, or partial staffs around the country. There's so much coming in. There are people who won't be getting their, I guess their monthly, I don't know, the SSI checks. I'm not sure about that. I want you to let me know if you're being affected in any way by the shutdown. I've been wondering about the Postal Service. Are they getting paid? I've done a lot of research, so many reports, I don't even know what to read first. But we're going to talk about those things tonight because I believe that we all are part of it. We all have opinions. We're all going to be affected by it or are currently being affected by the shutdown. It is because mainly that President Trump wants to build this multi-billion-dollar wall on the border of Mexico to keep out the Hispanic people from our country. I want to know how you feel about that. Are you for the border wall? Is it really going to help? Do you think it will be effective to keep the Hispanic people out from coming to America? Why are they flocking to America? My son and I just had a really deep discussion. He gave me his views before he went to bed there in Alaska about he sees both sides, how Trump wants to keep the Hispanic people out because they are coming to our country, flocking to our country, and they are getting the jobs that we Americans no longer want. But we want what they have, is my argument. They're coming here with the entrepreneurial spirit, with the American dream in mind, because of this is the land of opportunity, and we are giving them the opportunities that we no longer want anymore, and that is lawn services. That is to come here and work the land and plant and harvest and pick the fruit and the vegetables, everything that they do over here. They come here with the spirit of achievement and opportunities that we take for granted, and we go out and we hire them to do the things that we no longer want to do. They have businesses everywhere. There is a taco stand of some sort on every corner just about here in Memphis and in Detroit when I lived in Detroit. So they come here and they want the American dream. We want their services, but the problem is that they're not documented, and we're giving them our American money and they're sending the money back to their homeland, and it's not being recycled in America like ours is. They're not paying taxes on a lot of what they do. So I kind of see that side too. I do understand. I'm a Libra, so I always see both sides of every story. However, I do not support spending billions of dollars, or not even 1 billion or $500,000 on a wall to keep people out. Walls cause division, separation. You can't keep people out of something that you don't own necessarily. America is a part of the world. I see that. Hello, everybody. Wow, you guys signed on quick today. Thank you, guys. I want to know your opinions, because if you're on here, all the people who have signed on so forth, thank you so much. Roy Clayton says, hello, 79. Let me know your opinion. Let me know, if you are a government employee or you're receiving government assistance in any way, if you are affected by the shutdown financially, if you can't report to work if you've been furloughed, if you haven't gotten paid and you're not getting paid. I understand some of the SNAP programs, the WIC program is affected, the Section 8 program is affected. My son, who's in the Air Force, says the military will still get paid. He has still been getting his salary every month. It has not affected them yet. It's just so many legs to this government shutdown, which is not good. And it does not speak well of us to the world that our government is shut down and arguing and bickering. That does not make us look like we are united, and we're supposed to be, quote, the United States of America. I published on my Facebook page yesterday, I believe, a poem that I wrote back in 2015 when President Barack Obama was in office and the government shut down for a short period of time. And here we are today, 5 or 6 years later, and here we are again with even a bigger reason that we are shut down. I don't even remember what we were shut down for back then. So much has happened. But give me your thoughts. Do you believe that we should put a border up, a wall? Will a wall make things better? Should America spend billions of dollars of taxpayers' money to build a 2,000-mile wall to protect us, our borders from Mexico, a place that we all love to vacation there a lot? It's beautiful in Mexico. There's so many pros and cons to this debate. But for our president to shut down the government because he cannot get his way and that Congress won't agree to give him what he wants, it's more like a dictator or a tyrant than a president, in my opinion. If you don't have the votes, and we're supposed to be a democracy, how can you just slam your gavel down and say, I'm shutting down everything indefinitely until I get what I want? That is my problem with the president. I don't necessarily keep up with all the day-to-day stuff, but I want to know your opinions, because here we are in 2019, you guys, and we're like 17 days into the year, and the government has been shut down, I think now for almost a month. Right before Christmas, I believe, is when it officially shut down. I don't know if the Congress people are still getting paid. I didn't really do any research on that because they are part of the government. Is President Trump still getting paid? Because we paid them out of our taxpayers' money. Hello, everybody. Guys, it's a lot of people signed on today. Thank you. I want to say hi to everybody right quick that has signed on. Type up what you think, your questions, are you being affected? Do you know loved ones or family members or neighbors who are receiving WIC or Section 8 or SNAP or on food stamps, or anyone who's being affected? If you work for the government and your division has laid you off, what they call furlough, are you being affected by this government shutdown? Because it's getting critical, you guys. It's to the point where now I believe we all need to keep an X amount of cash money in our homes in a safety deposit box hidden somewhere, locked up, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. I just read a report that said that the federal courts are running out of money. Are we not going to be able to keep the prisoners incarcerated, because that's ran on federal funding? A lot of it's privately owned, the jail systems, but they still tie into the government in so many ways. So let me know your thoughts, you guys. Oh my God, look at all the people who signed on. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. Zoe Miller, Liz Renzo, Pearlie Dorch, Beverly Harper, Jennifer Johnson, Lauren Henderson, Leslie Williams, Donald Patton. Hi, Robert Jameson, Laura Johnson, Kathy Willette, Beverly Harper, my #1 fan, says, hello, Afra. Marquita Jones, Vanessa Howard, Ward Clayton, Fred Pledge, Vicky Knight, and Vivian Fields. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Tell me what you think about this government shutdown. Do we need a wall? Hi, Robin Allen. Hi, Frank. Hi, Jasmine. Erica Hughes says, hi, Afra. God bless you. And Jacqueline Mason. What do you guys think? I'm letting you know what I feel. Hi, Robin Dotson. The government is shut down. We have a tyrant in office who's throwing a temper tantrum because he can't have his way. And like a kid who packs up all his toys and runs in the house and no longer wants to play, Trump has shut the U.S. government down indefinitely. And Nancy Pelosi and a lot of the other members of Congress are not allowing him to have his way. Do you think this is right? Do you think we live in a democracy? Do you think that we should spend billions? One estimate said it was going to cost upwards of $26 billion to build a 2,000-mile wall across the border between the United States and Mexico. Some estimates say it could cost more than that when it's all said and done. Do we as Americans want to spend that kind of money when the cost of college tuition is steady rising, when people are in tremendous debt for student loans and you could forgive those student loans for that type of money, when there are hospitals and neighborhoods needing better school systems, better books, better villages for our residents here in America? Is it worth the taxpayers' money to spend that kind of money to build a wall to keep people out that are going to come anyway? You got planes, trains, buses, tunnels. I don't know if you guys have seen all the tunnels that have been built by Americans. Underground tunnels that lead to Mexico, into Canada, that we don't know nothing about. It's a whole nother, almost a freeway system underground of tunnels, you guys. Go on YouTube and Google some of this information that I'm sharing with you. Give me your thoughts. Should President Trump have his way and build this billion-dollar, 2,000-mile long wall? Is it worth your taxpayers' money to keep out Hispanic people who are already here? Hi, Erica. Erica Hughes, my first guest this year, Vegan Mom. She says, what he is doing is affecting hundreds of thousands of Americans, and he doesn't care at all. That's his whole demeanor, his aura. People are hungry, losing their possessions, and so much more, yet he's determined to have his way. He first introduced this wall when he started his presidential campaign before he got elected. He initially said he would make Mexico pay for it, but Mexico was saying, And why is this wall so important to him? He's trying to tear down and destroy everything that President Obama implemented, and then he wants to come in and take our taxpayer dollars and build a wall, for God's sake. Walls separate people. Walls, we know about the Berlin Wall, how long it stood and what it stood for, the communists. And they tore that down probably, I think, a little over 20 years ago. Do we need a wall? Is the wall the answer to bringing people together to sit down at the table of peace? Hispanic people, we as Americans, we love their food. I love Mexican food. I have a Hispanic guy who does my yard. He just texted me today, want to know if he can come over and bag up the leaves for me. And they are our brothers and sisters. Yes, they come over here. They are undocumented. But you rarely see them on the news that they're doing the shootings and the killings. And then you talk about the money that they collect from us and don't pay taxes on. Look at the big Fortune 500 companies, the pharmaceutical companies that don't pay taxes, that get all these tax breaks. Come on, y'all. I know someone else has an opinion here because too much is going on. I think that Trump is just trying to have his way to leave his mark, his legacy. And I don't think he's really considering how we can better distribute and use our taxpayers' money and not addressing the real issues. You're never going to get rid of the drugs, he says. The wall would keep the drug cartel from getting drugs into America. I have to pause and laugh on that, y'all, because The true drug cartel is the pharmaceutical companies. They are making way more money, getting way more people addicted and killing way more people than illegal substances. And I'm not a person who's a person for illegal drug use and cocaine and heroin, meth and all that. But they are not the big pharma. It is the pharmaceutical companies. There are more people addicted to pharmaceuticals than there are people addicted to illegal substances like cocaine and meth and heroin, and I don't even keep up with all that because I honestly I've never been high a day in my life and never want to. But hello, Pamela Hudson, how you doing? Give me your opinion, you guys. This is not about just what I believe. I want to know if you know anybody who's receiving WIC. Are they going to still be able to get their WIC? And WIC is for single parents, single mothers or fathers with children who get WIC to get food, free food. Go to Kroger and get milk and dairy and all types of products. Are you still going to be able to get your WIC each month? Section 8 housing. People who own Section 8, who own houses who are renting it out to Section 8, are they still going to be able to get paid? And if not, what are they going to do? Because no one else is going to live in these houses. What about the SNAP program? Does anybody receive food stamps? Understand that some of the SNAP program has been extended, that they'll be able to get their monies for February and January, but if they don't open back up, they may not be able to get anything else until March. How is it affecting you? What are your thoughts? Hi, Pamela. She says, hello, Amber. What are your thoughts? Because here we are. It's always something in America. We're fighting over the most trivial things to me, when the bigger issues that are going on behind the scenes, what we don't hear about and what we don't know about, and the underhanded dealings that are happening, those are things that we need to really truly be concerned about, as well as building a wall, you guys. We talk about terrorists. You hadn't heard much President Trump say much about terrorists because, in my opinion, we have a terrorist in the White House these days. Because terrorism comes in so many forms. And to me, what he has done to America is institute a form of terrorism on the government by shutting the government down. That is a terrorist act, in my opinion, because we live on currency. Currency in America is oxygen. We all need money to live and buy and pay for the things that we need to live on a daily basis. So this terrorist now has shut down the government, and it's a domino effect. It hasn't affected me yet, but if it continues, it can, because the FDA, I read a report, and you guys seen the FDA, because they're not getting paid, because they're our government agency, they're not inspecting the foods like they should, which could potentially mean that our foods could go uninspected. And we don't need more salmonella and all the other things that can happen because the food is not being inspected like it should, like eggs and fruit and vegetables and the meats. Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome, welcome. We are talking today about the U.S. government shutdown. I want to know your thoughts. Erica Hughes, the vegan mom, gave me her opinion, and she's totally correct. She says what he is doing is affecting hundreds of thousands of Americans, and he doesn't care at all. I did not vote for him. I would never vote for him. I do know people, Black people, who did vote for him, and I respect their opinions for voting for him. And I do believe that the election, this is just my opinion, that even though we do have the right to vote, which our people fought and died and were killed for, I do believe that our whole voting system is an illusion, truthfully. I believe that we go out to vote, but they've already planned what they're going to do. They just let us think that we have elected someone. They just let us believe that our votes count. I do believe that at the end of the day, what's done in the dark and done behind closed doors is already done way before we go and cast our votes every 4 years, or even in the primary elections. But if you are a person like me, I've come to the conclusion in my life that what God has for me, the Creator, what He has for me, it doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter what the policies are, what the credit score is, or what the whole systematic thing you have to apply for, do. What is for me, I'm going to get. I'm going to be protected because my faith is greater than of any president or any regime or any government organization. My faith says if I align myself with what God has for me, I won't miss a meal. I'll have health and wealth and be protected because I live at a very higher power of connection than just the government. But I still have to live within the limits of our governmental system or our society today. But I live by an incredible amount of faith. But that does not keep me from voting. That does not keep me from being a part of the day-to-day politics, the day-to-day happenings that affect all of us. No one is an island. We are not alone. We can't do this by ourselves. We have to stick together. We have to educate ourselves. Thank you. Look at the love. And so to shut the government down because you're mad and you're angry or you disagree when we're supposed to be a democracy that votes, and sir, you were outvoted. You did not get enough votes to get the wall you wanted, and now you're going to punish us. You're going to punish America because you, Mr. President, did not get what you want. Hi, Tony Shaw. Hi, Albus. Maureen Campbell, hi. She says, hi there, Sugar. You are truly on point. Love and hope you are feeling better. I'm still battling this cold, you guys. Look at the love. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, because it is up to us. And I don't know what the answer is, and I don't even really get into politics. You can't really discuss politics and religion in an open forum because it typically because of our differences, and we have not learned how to respect each other's differences of opinions or beliefs and still be a collective whole. The Institute of Slavery instilled in us that it is better to divide and conquer. When they get mad, they divide and they break up instead of saying, let's agree to disagree, but still stay together. That is what I believe. We don't have to all believe the same thing. We don't have to agree on everything. But as long as we could stay together, you know, and combine our differences and learn from each other, we could overthrow this government, truthfully. And I put that out there. Hi, Tony. I love you, sister. I've been reading up about a coup, a C-O-U-P. And I can't pronounce it. It's a French word, coup d'etat or something like that. But it means to overthrow a regime or a government or a system by a smaller group. And I believe that it's going to get to the point within this next 2 years that America is going to get so sick of Donald Trump that we're going to have a coup and overthrow him. Not impeach him, because we're past impeaching at this point because his term is halfway over. But I believe if enough of us got together, we could overthrow his administration. I do. I'm not up for that fight because that's not the fight that God gave me. But I believe that we could collectively do something to overthrow his power because he is abusing his power. And anybody, in my opinion, whatever your power is, and we all have it, which is your gift or what you've been anointed or appointed to do, you cannot abuse your power, your authority, your leadership, your gift, as in R. Kelly's case. When you become powerful, you should also become very humble, because it is that very power that will feed your ego, and that is what we're seeing today with President Trump. His ego has blown up, and he's abusing the power of the president, the office of president. And that's not good for us globally, you guys, because the rest of the country sees us with this dictator in office, and that weakens who we are. We don't stand for the type of tyranny that he is inflicting, not on the world and other countries, but on his own people, to shut the government down because he cannot have his way. So let me know your thoughts, you guys. It's not just about what I believe. Like I said, my vote only counts. I only vote because someone died and my right to vote. I really don't have a lot of faith in the political system. Like I said, what God has for Amphra, I got in line for that a long time ago, and I've aligned myself with that. But I still have to live with the rules and regulations and the systematic policies and procedures of the world as it's governed by the United States. Hello, Alvin says, you are so right, and evangelicals still support him. Yeah, evangelicals still support him. I don't really even know how to address that, Alvis, because it's amazing to me. I respect the fact that they support him, because we all have the right to choose and select and support or not support or agree or disagree. But I come to the conclusion in my life, I like to deal with facts. When it comes to making decisions that are governing, I like to deal with facts, because when you throw in beliefs and things that you cannot put science to and prove, then you have a whole nother ball game. You're in a whole nother field. So I don't know why the evangelicals support him, because he is a womanizer, which I kind of get. They are too. Hate to say that out loud, but so many are. He is a he tells us, he's told us what he likes to do to women. Look at his wife, and she's just been playing the background now. She hasn't come out with anything that I know of. She's just been silent. But why they support him, I don't know. I don't understand. Like I said, there's an agenda that they let us see in the news. And then there's that agenda that's behind closed doors. The big pharmaceutical companies, the oil companies, and all the major Fortune 500 businesses that are running things, you guys, in my opinion. Let me know your opinion about voting, and let me know if you are affected. Hello, Shaquana Anderson. Hi. Hi, I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Anita Burden. How you doing? Hi, Sharon. Hi, LaSonia Hodge. Let me know if you've been affected by the shutdown, or you or someone in your family, your parents or grandparents who are receiving Social Security. Are they still getting their checks? How about the people who've retired from the government? Are they still being paid? These are things that I don't know. I do know that the airports are at risk because the TSA, a lot of them have been furloughed, which means they've been laid off because they have not been paid and don't know when they're going to get paid. So that puts our airports at risk. That means that we're open now to more terrorist, possible terrorist acts. Hopefully we won't have any. And then in my opinion, you guys, when we talk about terrorists, America is the biggest terrorist in the universe. We are terrorists to other countries too. That's why they want to attack us, because they don't ever tell us what we do, like the whole 911 thing. That was not an outside job. That was an inside job. And don't take my word for it. Go Google it, and you'll see all the buildings that actually imploded instead of exploding, like they were set up to implode, like a demolition, a 9/11. We've been duped. We've been lied to. Yes, we have. And I didn't want to believe it at first, but with my research and a friend I had in Detroit, we did a lot of research on it, and like, oh my God, has America lied to us about everything? Everything in history, all the European books that we read. We now know Columbus did not discover America, that the natives, which he called Indians, were already here, and so were the Hispanics, you guys. They were already here. This is their land. Now you want to put up a wall and tell them to stay out? Well, you go back home, brother. Go back to Europe from where you came, and we go back to Africa if that's the case, because we were not here. We're not original. We're not indigenous to America, you guys, if we go back to our history. Hello, everybody. Hello, Anita. She says hi. She says, yes, I agree. And so we're trying to keep out people from a business point of view, as my son and I talked about earlier. He was saying that one of Trump's reasons for wanting to put the border up is because that they come to America undocumented, which means they're not paying taxes. They don't have a Social Security number, and we are paying them cash. so often, more often than not, to do our lawns, to wash our cars, to clean our houses, to work in the fields, to plant the fields, to pick the fruit, to pick the vegetables. They open restaurants, you guys, massage parlors. They are coming here and we want their services. We do. We flock to them for their services, for things that we no longer want to do. Yet, and they give us good prices. They do good work. And I'm not mad at them. They come here with what we're supposed to have, which is the American dream. They come here to achieve what we don't even aspire to do as a whole, and that is entrepreneurship, to live the American dream. They don't come here to get a job at FedEx. They don't come here to get a job in corporate America. They don't come here to pay these high-ass taxes. They come here to actually pursue and live what we were taught about a little bit, the American dream of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yet we have not achieved it collectively. Look at our communities. They show us, but they come here and they achieve those American dreams. And they're doing it tax-free. I ain't even mad at them about doing it tax-free. I wish I could do it tax-free, actually. Hi, Shaquana. She says, hello, Afra. So I'm not even mad at them. I'm not even, them coming over here being undocumented. Honestly, God does not bother me, because you rarely see them on the news where they are doing the robbing, the stealing, the killing on the corner, selling drugs. They're not tearing down our communities, you guys. They are not. In fact, if you drive around Memphis, where I live, and where I lived in Detroit, the Hispanic communities are growing exponentially every day. The apartments, the houses, the stores, the corner stores, the food trucks, they're everywhere. It's like a Hispanic invasion. I'm not mad at them. They're not taking our jobs. They're not, because we don't want the jobs that they do. So they're not even coming here taking our jobs. And we are giving them our money for their services that they provide. And they do a good job at what they do. If you hire a Hispanic person to do anything, remodel your home, work in your yard, plant your flowers, anything, they do such a good job. Why don't we try to document them? Why don't we try to incorporate them into the American dream legally? Instead of keeping them out, and do something else with the $26 billion or more dollars to build a wall. Why not take that money and build more businesses? Why not take that $26 billion and give it to some of us and let us apply for it, so that we can open our own businesses? Because when we go and apply for a loan, brown-skinned people, black people here in America, we are turned down. Yet we put more money in the banks on Monday mornings, after we put our collections in our churches in banks that won't loan us money. Did you hear what I just said? We put money in the bank every Monday morning from the collections place of our churches, Christian churches, yet those banks do not loan us money, you guys. So there's a bigger issue here than putting down Hispanic people and trying to get them out the country. Why not incorporate what they do and learn from them? Because what they also do that we don't do, they start these businesses. They have their children working in their businesses. They're teaching their kids entrepreneurship at the youngest ages, when we're teaching our kids what a pair of J's is, some Jordans, or all the games and all the material things that we are giving them, and not giving them any life skills. So we actually can learn a lot from the Hispanic people that Donald Trump is trying to keep out of America, in my opinion. I respect your opinion. I want to hear your opinion. Give me a little bit more. It's a lot of you guys are signed on. Tell me what you think. Have you been affected by the shutdown? Do you know somebody who's been affected by the shutdown? Alice Hatch says, wow. Why you say wow, Alvis, my friend? Hi, Ben Sykes. Hi, Daryl Wilson Sr. How you doing? Look at the love. Thank you, guys. We can learn from Hispanic people, you guys. The American dream. I am in pursuit of the American dream. I've been in that pursuit. I'm living it. I'm not totally living, but I'm an entrepreneur. you know, but I still have to work and navigate around corporate America. But I'm in pursuit to one day be free of having to get up to a 9 to 5 and work for people that I don't want to. I want to live totally off the gifts that God has given me and not be reliant upon getting a check from a corporate establishment to fund my dreams. But because I was born into this cycle of depression and recession, that you have to work for somebody. By the time I woke up, I'm halfway there now. I'm almost retired. But I'm going to continue to pursue the American dream. If we taught our children to pursue the American dream at a young age, and that is ownership, that is financial literacy, that is responsibility, that the Hispanics and the Asians and the Middle Easterns come over here and live. They own the service stations. They own all the beauty and supply stores. Probably less than 1% of beauty stores with all the hair and weave are owned by Black people, you guys. The Asians come over here and they cater to us. They have the most nail shops. There's at least 2 or 3 on every corner. Have you ever seen an African-American nail shop where there are 10 or 12 nail techs in it that are African-American? No, you have not. You can barely find one. And we don't work together like that. So we can learn from them in the sense that they know how to pool their money together. And when one reaches up and starts making money, they give back to help bring somebody else up. We don't do that. When one of us go up, the rest of us try to pull us down, and that comes from slavery. So we can learn from the Asians, the Hispanics, and the Middle Eastern people about how to be good stewards over our money and how to pursue our dreams and own what we do, as opposed to just going to work and clocking in at a 9 to 5 or 3 to 11 or a FedEx at night. How you doing, you guys? Pamela Matthews Hudson says, you should use whatever power you have for the better. This man does not care who suffers at the expense of him getting what he wants. That is the truth. That is all that it is. So sad. What will be next? He won't stop. I think he gets some kind of thrill hearing every day, this is the longest shutdown written in history. I believe that. Donald Trump is the epitome of a person who what he feels shows on his face. You can read him, especially if you have a high key sense of discernment like I do. He doesn't even have to say anything, and you know what he's thinking. Not the fact that his hair is so thin that you can see his brain, but I just had to throw that in. But anyway, he is a person you can tell that he does not have a spirit of humility or a spirit of unity, a spirit of progress. He is a dictator, a womanizer, and a man who's used to having his way. He's had his way with women. Now he wants to have his way with the country. And that is my opinion. Beverly Harper says, we cannot get along with each other long enough to get a business started. That is the truth. Now, Beverly, the thing that we've got to realize about that, there's a reason why Black people cannot collectively come together and move up together. And it came from slavery. And the Willie Lynch syndrome. When Willie Lynch, a British slave master, came to the United States, and I forget what year it was, maybe 1600 or something like that. I can't remember. Because the slave masters in America believed to keep a slave, you had to shackle them and beat and whip them, as we know historically has been done. But the physical slavery was keeping them from being 100% productive, because if your body's aching, you can't work 12, 18-hour days in the field. So he came over, Willie Lynch, to tell the slave masters in America how to keep a slave a slave. And he said, if you do this, you will enslave them for generations and generations to come. He told them the way to keep a slave was to take the shackles off their feet and put the shackles on their minds. He said, Willie Lynch syndrome, and look this up, it's called the Willie Lynch Manifesto. If you shackle their minds, You will shackle them for generations and generations to come. You shackle their minds by pitting them one against the other. The light skin versus the dark skin, the house nigger versus the field nigger, the light skin versus the dark skin, the good hair, the bad hair, the young, the old, the mothers, the fathers, the men, the women, the boys, the girls. If you pit them one against the other, then you could take the lid off, is what it says. And every time one person will try to climb out of slavery, the others will pull them back down. And that is where we are today in 2019, 400 plus years since they supposedly freed the slaves. I have experienced that myself as a person who is ambitious, trying to move up. But my thing is, for me, my gift is the more I climb, the higher I climb, the more I want to reach back and bring people with me. And that is through educating them, not by just giving everything, but education is the key. That's why they did not want us to be educated. And when they had to educate us, they also controlled the education that we received, which still enslaved us, you guys. We've received a slave education. The books, the history, the things that we were taught here in America. The same people that enslaved us are the same people that educated us. Do you think they would give us the best education or truthful education? Do you think they would let us know the truth about history? Do you think they would tell us who God really was? No. We have a slave diet. We talked about that, Erica Hughes, last week when she was on my show. All the pork and all the food that we eat is a slave diet. We've had a slave diet since we came over here. We had to eat the leftovers, the scraps, and we took it and we turned it into soul food. We have a slave religion, believe it or not, and I'm not even get deep into that, but we're taught a slave religion. We have a slave education. We have a slave governmental system that is in play right here today as we have a U.S. government shutdown in 2019. It stems from slavery, you guys. Stella Billingsley says, Willie Lynch made his speech in 1712 on the James River. I want you guys to don't trust anything that I say. I have this thing, Google it, educate yourself. Go and Google Willie Lynch and understand the Willie Lynch Manifesto and everything that's listed on this manifesto about how to keep a slave a slave. And the thing is, he what he didn't realize is it wasn't just about keeping Black people enslaved. It was about enslaving the masses of the people. If you keep them distracted, you will keep them enslaved. That's why the entertainment business is such a booming and industry, because entertainment to some degree is to keep you distracted from what's politically happening behind closed doors, you guys. You keep them uneducated, if you keep their minds on things that don't have any value, if you keep them pitted one against the other, the envy, the jealousy, they won't be able to get out the prison of the mind. And that's where we are today. Every time a Black person tries to do something, we won't even support each other. But we have no problem in getting a Hispanic or an Asian person or a Middle Eastern person to do anything for us. We freely give them our money, not only Black people, but people in general. So they flock to America to get back to the subject that we're talking about today, which is the U.S. government shutdown. I do ask still, has anybody been affected by the shutdown so far? Are you receiving any retirement benefits that you have not gotten? Anybody on Section 8 that's going to be affected? Anybody that works for the TSA, the National Security Association at the airports. And we have a lot of people here in Memphis that work out at the airport. Has the Memphis International Airport been affected, you guys? I did not do any research on that. And I really don't watch the news a lot, truthfully, but I could not let this keep happening and we not have a conversation about it here on the Yams Talk Show. Share this feed, you guys. Please, everybody that's signed on now, please share this feed tonight, and you'll be able to catch it on YouTube. Yams has a YouTube page. I am in the process of uploading all of my 30-something shows so far. This is season 4 of the Yams Talk Show. I appreciate you guys' support. There's still so much to come. I'm still healing from a flu, and I still am battling depression. I'm doing better every day, and I'm doing good. I feel good. I'm in a better spirit. Hi, Deborah Hope. Hi, Caroline Hayes. Hi, Adrienne Denise, my niece. Hi, niece. I love you. Let me know what you think about it, because there's so many people who are receiving government assistance, and government assistance was not created for Black people, believe it or not, you guys. The welfare system was created for the Caucasian woman, believe it or not. And I have some statistics here that someone texted me. Hi, Gloria, about the shutdown. Someone sent me this earlier today on my job. It says that Mississippi WIC receives additional funding amid the federal shutdown. So if you are a WIC, W-I-C recipient, a mother, a single mother, or a single father, and you are receiving WIC and you live in Mississippi, you guys have gotten some additional funding while the government is shut down. How about you in Tennessee or around the country? If you are receiving WIC, you are a single parent, and you are getting this stipend every month to get groceries for you and your child. Have you been affected? Are you going to be affected? Do you know? Another statistic someone sent me, let's see, I've got another one here. It shows about SNAP. I don't really know what SNAP is. When I had a kid 35 years ago, I don't know if SNAP was around then, but it says a large share of SNAP, S-N-A-P recipients are white or Caucasian. We think the Black people are the only one getting the government assistance, but we're not. A large share of SNAP recipients are white. A large share of people who get food stamps, and I don't know if food stamps and SNAP are the same thing anymore. I don't know. I haven't been able to qualify for any of those ever, truthfully. But a lot of the welfare recipients are not just Black people. They are white people. You just don't see them standing in line and all the things that we do. The media only highlights us whenever there is a news story about welfare recipients or SNAP or WIC or any type of government aid or assistance. But it's not only Black people that rely on or depend upon or receive government assistance. So if you have been affected, hi Gloria, let me know what it is. What do you think about the shutdown? What do you think about the wall, you guys? Do you think it's worth us paying billions of dollars as taxpayers, spending that kind of money to build a wall that would be approximately 2,000 miles to protect America, our borders from Mexico and its citizens who flock here annually that are undocumented, which means they don't pay taxes. They're not registered as with a visa. I don't know if they have to get a visa if they are Mexican from Mexico or not, but they're not documented, and they're coming here and they are doing the jobs and pursuing the American dream. What do you think about them, you guys? I have my opinion. I respect yours. Do you think it's right for them to come over here and start businesses? And if you think it's right or if you think it's wrong, let me know. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Jason. Do you think that this land is their land? They were here before we were. Someone brought us over here. We came in voluntarily. Hi, I can't pronounce his name. Stanisha Michelle. How you doing? Thank you for joining. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about President Trump. Did you vote for President Trump? Why or why not? I did not vote for him. Honestly, I didn't even vote for Hillary. I wrote God in the comment section is what I did so that I could be on record for voting, because I didn't want to vote for either one of them, truthfully. Debbie Miranda has joined. Thank you. I am asking you guys to do today, we're talking about the U.S. shutdown 2019. Hi, Dennis. Dennis, is this affecting your business at all, the government shutdown? Let me know, because you are an entrepreneur. Dennis Taylor He's in my family, in my Binghamton family. His father owned John Taylor's grocery store on Tillman and Johnson for, oh my God, all my life. And he also owns Lucky's down there on Johnson and Pope. Dennis, what are you seeing as a business owner? Has the shutdown affected your business at all? Has any of your patrons come in and complain that they haven't received their EBT or their Social Security checks or whatever? Dennis, let me know, has it affected your business in any form or fashion? Okay, he says not yet. And this is Dennis Taylor. He owns Lucky's. I think it's still called Lucky's. Dennis, let me know. Right there at in Binghamton off of Johnson, at Johnson and Pope, in between Pope and Vandalia, where I used to live. Stella Billingsley says, I believe Trump is trying to line his own pockets. That's a good point. For these people who state that they didn't vote, I guess they will vote now. Yes. And I'm still on the fence, Stella. I don't know if you heard me earlier when I say that even though we have acquired the right to vote as people of color, and I do believe that we should vote because our ancestors have fought for that right and died for that right. So I believe that when we go to place our votes, whether it's for president or even in the primaries, I still believe that the decisions have already been set in place. I believe that we have the illusion of freedom, truthfully. Not only freedom to vote, but we have the illusion of freedom in America, period. And why I call it the illusion of freedom is because, yeah, we are not shackled and we're not physically being beat and caught and our foot chopped off and and being raped against our will as women. But while we're not physically being raped, beaten, whipped, shackled, and everything, we are still enslaved. We're more enslaved today in so many ways than we ever were, because our ancestors, at least they were free spiritually. They were free inside of themselves, and they were forward thinkers thinking about a better day. And the better day that they dreamed of and hoped for, we are living it in vain. They paid the price and we take it for granted. We're not doing anything. We're not active. We are just going along, our minds shackled to the material things, our minds shackled to sex and lust and greed and material things and designer clothes and fancy cars and homes, that we've forgotten about the struggle. It ain't over, y'all. And so now we are being beaten and whipped and raped of our money, of our dignity, of our humility, of our history. We no longer teach our kids any wisdom. We've been robbed of wisdom. We've been robbed and raped of who we are as a Black people. We don't know our history. We haven't told our kids anything about who they are and where they come from and what their ancestors believed. We don't teach any of those things anymore. And so now we're in another cycle of slavery that's worse than being shackled, in my opinion. To read some more comment, Dennis says your store is called Taylor's Grocery or Market on Johnson Street. Okay, Dennis. I'm so proud that you are still in business after all these years and carrying on your dad's legacy of entrepreneurship. Because I grew up in Binghamton, and if you guys are watching from around the country, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, and the community of Binghamton, I grew up in the 70s and didn't know to appreciate this. But at the time, it was a community that flourished with Black-owned businesses like Taylor's grocery store at Tillman and Johnson, and down on the other end of Johnson and Pope, Eddie's service station, Allen's cream cone, you guys. Tillman Johnson was a wealth of Black businesses back in the 70s that we thought and were taught that we needed to go to school and get educated and move from the hood that we loved and nourished us. And we did that, most of us, and we took our wealth out of Binghamton. We took our wealth because we thought the grass was greener on the other side in the communities of Cordova or Collierville or, you know, Raleigh and different areas, when we had a wealth right there, but the ball was dropped, not intentionally. We thought we were running from something, trying to do better, and we did not sow back into the community that sowed into us. I'm guilty of that. I'm planning to correct that one day, because I understand now the importance of Black businesses, but we weren't taught business. We were taught to go to school and get a business degree and learn how to go work somebody else's business, help make a Fortune 500 corporate company successful, and not how to be business people for ourselves and teach our children how to run a business. So that is part of the slave education that we still receive today in America. But we need to get back to that community of business where we trade with each other, where we, I think they said the Black dollar only stays in the Black community, I want to say less than 24 hours. The moment we get paid, truthfully, the money is put into white banks electronically. And then when we go start to spending it, we may go to the beauty shop. That is the one place that will get our money. But our dollars don't stay in the Black community. But the Hispanic people, the Asian people, the Mediterranean people, their dollars circulate within their community, because if you go shopping right now, go to any mall. I live right here by the Wolf Chase Mall. In Detroit, I live by another mall called the 12 Oaks Mall. If you go to a mall, I want you to notice something. How many times do you see Asian people in a mall shopping? Or Hispanic people? They shop and do business with each other. They know the power of their community. We were raped of our power of the community because of slavery. We've got to break that cycle, you guys, and I'm speaking out about it. You know, try to seek out Black businesses, support Black businesses, because if we don't support us, which is where we are today, they know that they have the advantage, they being the European society that America is based upon right now. So let's read some more comments here. Stella says, I agree, even Dr. King realized that Caucasian Americans got in on the land grabs, but for us, nothing. I think the answer is in our churches. I do too, and I'm gonna have a whole conversation on that one day. Dennis Taylor says, I haven't been affected. It haven't affected us yet, but a lot of people are concerned about what might happen to the EBT system. And thank you. Yes, yes. A lot of people are concerned with what may happen to the EBT system, because so many people are receiving what used to be paper food stamps. Everything's electronic now, and that's really convenient, but that the whole electronic banking is convenient, but boy, it creates a lot of problems. So thank you, Dennis. Gloria Williams has joined. Dennis says, yes, you are telling the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Thank you, Dennis. And I don't know how you pronounce your name, but she said, Sister says, wow. Yeah. Stella, to go back to your question, the answer for me, truthfully, what you said about African Americans, the one place that we will come together and congregate is our churches. In the Black community, there is a church literally on every corner. There are churches that sit across the street from each other, catty-corner from each other, next door to each other. And our churches, if we had as many Black businesses as we had Black churches in our community, we would be flourishing. But we can come together, it seems. A pastor or bishop can bring us together and tell us to pay our tithes and over and beyond to build a multi-billion-dollar building, a structure, a church, or a banquet hall or fellowship hall. What if he were to use that power to say, every year we're going to raise that same kind of money, or less even, to help people within the church who are entrepreneurs start their own business? What if the pastors were to teach us how to do business with each other? Because we love to follow pastor. Pastor said, you hear it every week. Pastor said we should do XXX and ZZZ and raise more money for this and that. What if we use that the money that we put in the banks every Monday morning from the collection plate on Sabbath, which is Saturday and Sundays? What if we took that money, that deposit, and started our own banks? Why can't our churches come together instead of there being 10 in a 5-mile radius, there be one, and pool our money together? We wouldn't need banks to loan us money. We would be our own banking system, because we do have that type of financial power. We just don't have that type of financial literacy and that type of financial education, you guys. It's really why I stopped going to church, because I was tired of being uneducated by the church. I don't go anymore because I now have a powerful relationship with my Creator, and I don't follow any man. That's why I'm doing this show. But anyway, so that is our greatest power and our greatest resource. It's just that the church within itself today, in my opinion, is a political system. It is a power system. It is now used in ways that our ancestors never dreamed of. It was supposed to help the community. And I question today, is it helping? Not just the poor people. It should help the members that put the money into. I've learned from financial literacy that anything I put my money into, I need to get a return on my investment. Yes, I do. And not when I get to heaven while I'm here on earth. But that's a whole nother conversation. Oh, someone says, I think you were clapping or waving. Sister, hi, how you doing? We're almost out of time. I was hoping I got a lot more comments from you guys, because this is a serious event that is taking place. It's historic to some degree, because 20, 30 years from now, we're going to look back on this 2019 government shutdown and still be feeling some of the effects of what is happening today, because everything we collectively and individually do has lifelong effects, you guys, whether it's a small decision individually as a choice, or the choices that our government makes with or without our approval or our vote. It has a far-reaching effect. Everything has a chain reaction into the future. Dennis Taylor says, yes, yes, yes. You know you are telling the truth tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. I'm going to be getting back on the speaking circuit. As soon as I get well, I'm going to be putting another page up. If you or your organization needs a speaker to come out and talk to not just women, even though my show originally and my books, which are called You Are My Sister, that's Yams acronym, about empowerment, I speak about everything. I speak about everything except for religion, because what you believe and the God that you believe in is your personal choice. I come out and speak to people about financial literacy, about what are we doing for our children, how we are spoiling our children, and how we see that as some type of honor to spoil children and not prepare them for the future. I come out and speak about, do workshops, women workshops. How well do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? And if you know who you are, why aren't you living the purpose that God gave you? So I speak about a lot of things. And if you and your organization or group or whatever it is needs a speaker, whether it is locally, at a church, at your women's conference, at your children's affair, whatever it may be, because God has given me the gift to teach about everything, to teach in my speaking, to teach in my show, to teach in the workshops that He's given me, because it is time for us to get rid of the slave education that we've received and start to educate ourselves, number one, about who we are and why we are here. And it's a way that we need to do that and implement the things that we actually believe. Like Obama even said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And that's what I feel about me way before he said that. Changing your life for the better. Having more material things don't make you happy. A bigger car, a bigger house, more designer clothes, more this, more that. We should be focused on more education, more literacy, more financial literacy, more empowerment, more purpose, more determination, and educating our children as opposed to giving them everything. So I talk about everything, and I'm going to be putting up a Facebook page where you can book me for engagements. I travel everywhere. When I stopped traveling and speaking years ago after my second book came out, because I was speaking mostly at churches, and believe it or not, 9 out of the 10 preachers were hitting on me. I couldn't take it. I didn't know what to do. And I went to God and I said, I can't do this. All these preachers have got on my nerves. They whores. And God said, they don't work for me. They don't work for me. That's why I stopped going. I can't do it no more. But I'm going to get back out there because I feel my voice is needed. The knowledge that I have, I need to share it more than just on this show. So I'll be getting that back on the speaking circuit. And you'll be able to contact me and book me if you have an event that you would like for me to come speak to. And I speak about everything. And but it's about change. It's about growth. It's about knowing who you are and how to live the purpose that God has given you. Stella says, I'm in the process of starting a nonprofit to address the ills of our communities. We have rich neighborhoods next to ours, taking our schools and land. Louis Farrakhan has addressed us putting money into a fund and buying land and teaching our own children. I feel that we should demand more from our churches. Yes, yes, yes. Here is what, Stella, I call, and I'm going to be putting this little excerpt out there shortly, but to give you a little idea of what I talk about and what you just said. We as a society here in America have become comfortable Christians. We're comfortable saying that we are Christians, and we're comfortable going to the big churches with the flat screen TVs and all the creature comforts of Christianity that we have forgotten what we're supposed to be doing, and that is teaching and educating and building and revitalizing and rejuvenating and re-educating and repurposing our lives and the lives of our children. We become comfortable in those, I'm a Christian and I go to church and I know the Bible and there's nothing else to show for it but designer clothes and material things. That's why I gave it up. I can't do it no more. There's more to life than being comfortable in your day-to-day life and not thinking about the choices that you make and how powerful they are and how giving your children everything is ruining them. And I'm speaking about things people don't want to talk about that may make you uncomfortable, but the whole purpose of the gift that God has given me is to make you think. Because without thinking is where we are today. Technology is taking over us being able to think. We're losing the fundamentals of humility, of kindness, of respect, of thinking, using critical and logical thinking skills to live our lives, you guys. We're about to enter a cycle of slavery that's probably will last longer than 400 years of the original slavery that our ancestors had to endure when they were captured in Africa and brought to America unwillingly. Thank you. Stella says, spot on. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but she says, keep speaking the truth, sis. She also says, would you do a live speaking with a friend of mine who is an inspirational speaker? Would you do a live speaking with a friend of mine? Inbox me what you're talking about, Stanisha. I can't pronounce your name. Brenda Austin Johnson has joined from Detroit. Hi, friend. And Saisha says, talk about it, sis. We must get back to the laws. Yes, we are lost, you guys, in this country. We have become so comfortable in our ignorance, in our illiteracy, in our day-to-day routines, and we put so much emphasis on more material things. What designer bag you got, what designer this, and what this cost. We put so much emphasis on status and vanity. And I talk about this, you guys. Vanity is killing us. The perms, the dyes, the acrylic nails, the hairdo, the weaves, the crochets, the this and the that, and all the things that we're doing to tear down our bodies voluntarily. That is part of the slavery that we are living today. And we are addicted to things that we never thought we would be addicted to ever in life. Who would have thought that hair would be an addiction one day, you guys? Who thought that hair would be an addiction? Who would have ever thought cell phones or talking on the phone would become an addiction? Whenever you are addicted to anything, you are distracted from what's healthy, what's helpful, what's humble. Addictions, you guys. Who would have thought that one day there'll be so many people addicted to gambling because casinos are everywhere? It used to be that drugs and alcohol were the greatest addictions outside of sex. Sex is the #1 addiction. But there are so many addictions now that are unhealthy. It's unbelievable. Who thought people would be addicted to fake fingernails, acrylic nails? Who thought people would be addicted to these things? And here we are today with so many addictions, and we're spending our wealth, women, sisters, and I'm kind of off track here today, but I'm letting the spirit flow. We're so addicted to vanity that for Black women in particular, and this is what I'm going to be speaking about, for Black people, we are spending our wealth on superficial beauty. The world has told Black women that who we are naturally is not beautiful. Our young girls, 7, 8 years old, can't wait to get their nails, the fake nails, the fake hair. When you wake up and you look in the mirror and the beauty that God gave you naturally, you don't like, is something wrong. The money we spend on hair care alone, we all can have our own businesses. But the money we spend on $200 bags of weave over and over again, who are we helping? The Asians, the Hispanic, the Middle Easterns. We brag about having Brazilian hair, and you know, hair is spiritual. Your hair, sisters, I'm way off track here, but your hair is genetically connected to your DNA. Your DNA is who you are spiritually. When you wear somebody else's hair, you wear their spirit. You have taken the spirit of who they are and now sewn it in, glued it in, weaved it in, whatever we do. There's a far-reaching effect, a deeper cause, a problem here than just being Hollywood pretty. I'm a naturalist, believe it or not. Thank you, Dennis. So those are things that I'm going to talk about, because us as Black women, we are responsible for our young girls. We see the whole R. Kelly thing that has been going on for years. Those young girls didn't look 14 or 15 years old. They got it from us because we have shown them that we don't appreciate the beauty God gave us. I'm a beautiful woman. I don't need all this stuff. I'm not going to pay that kind of money to become addicted to something when the beauty that God gave me is beautiful. I love it. And we've got to teach our young girls to appreciate who they are, to know who they are. That's part of the wealth that we're giving away. Because now you're addicted and you got to have this weave, and you're spending $200, $300, $400 a month on weave. Take $400 and multiply that times 12 and multiply it over 10 years. You've started a business and become profitable. But you didn't profit because you gave the money to the Asians to get their hair. That's not even including to get it sewn and glued in, you guys. When your natural beauty that God gave you, you should look in the mirror and say, thank you, God. But we look in the mirror and say, oh, I got to go get me a bag of weave. But anyway, thank you guys. Stella says, we have got to teach our communities better. We buy other people's products and they don't even like us. If we awake as the sleeping giant, we will go back to building and creating things. Hello, my sister. Hello, my sister. Back to creating things. Stella, I don't know how many times you're on here. Okay. Dennis Taylor says to know that their beauty comes from within. Yes. Our young girls don't know that. My 8-year-old great niece told me that she wanted to get her some kitty weave, that she likes her weave. She wants to have her nails. And I asked her, Mom, do you realize what you're teaching her at this young age? 8 years old, she wants fake hair and fake nails. Is something wrong when an 8-year-old girl doesn't look in the mirror and see that her ponytails are beautiful, that her nails are beautiful, that she wants these superficial things at 8 years old? So imagine by the time she starts to working and making her own money, she's already going to be set up and addicted to hair, addicted to nails. She's going to spend her fortune, her earnings on superficial beauty and make the Asians and the Hispanics who Donald Trump is trying to get out of the country even more richer because we flock to their businesses. We are the #1 consumers in the world because they know, they've studied us Black people. That's why there are Asian stores and all flooded in the Black communities more than any other communities, because they know we'll buy whatever they're selling. But by being the #1 consumer also makes us the #1 investor in other people's dreams. But they won't tell you that part of the scenario. They just say we're the #1 consumers. But every time you shop and exchange money with someone who does not look like you, you are buying their product or service, and you are also investing in their dream of entrepreneurship. Yet you're not in business for yourself. And those same people, even if you were in business for yourself, are not going to hire you or patronize your business. Sit on that for a minute. But that's a whole nother show. We're going to talk about financial literacy and the slave education that we have received and still are receiving and teaching our children. And now we, as parents, we've become a part of continuing or perpetuating the slave education by not teaching our children any type of financial literacy. We teach them these J's cost $200. Instead of saying, I've done this to my nephew, you guys, and I'm gonna get off of here shortly. My nephew has all his life he's had Air Jordans. His dad keeps buying them. And I said to him, I said, how many pair of Jordans do you have? And at the time, he had about 20 pair, I think. And I said, okay, now estimate that each pair costs a minimum of $100. Now, they cost more, but I just said a minimum of $100. And he said, okay. I said, now multiply $100 times 2,200. 22 pair of shoes. And he's like, Auntie, that's $2,200. I said, and how much money do you have? He said, I don't have any. I said, you do. You got it all in tennis shoes. I said, Michael Jordan got all your money. And he just was flabbergasted that he had in his room on a shelf all of these tennis shoes, but he didn't have any money in the bank. And I saw a change in him that day, you guys. And I wanted to see that change of him starting to think, you have no money in the bank, but you have all of these tennis shoes that give you no value, no return on your investment. And he was young. He didn't understand what ROI meant. I broke it down to him that anything you invest your money in should give you a return. And you have $2,200 worth of tennis shoes, really more than that, but an average of $2,200 sitting in your room, and most of them you can't even wear these shoes because you've outgrown them. So those are valuable lessons that we need to teach our children, because they think money literally is at the ATM or on the credit card. They have no sense of what it means to earn. We give them $800 phones, iPhones, when they're 5, 6 years old. They have their own rooms. They have access to everything but knowledge and financial literacy and critical thinking and consciousness. And so this generation is growing up without any fundamentals of financial literacy, financial responsibility, spiritual awareness, and you think that they're going to take care of you when they get old? They won't know how to. And that's because you as the parent and the grandparent who brags about, oh, I'm going to spoil these babies. They're going to be so spoiled. I'm spoiling my babies. That is nothing to brag about, family. I hear it every day. Oh my God, my baby's so spoiled. That is nothing to brag on. Spoiled people are full of in the jails right now. The jail cells today are full of spoiled children. Spoiled children become rotten adults. Think about that for a minute. Spoiled children become rotten adults. Why? Because they have no sense of responsibility, accountability, no financial literacy. They're used to getting what they want. And when they can't get what they want, when they're children, they throw a temper tantrum and you give it to them. When they become adults and they can't get what they want, they go out and steal it, rob, steal, and kill for it. And that's not to be blamed on the white man, unfortunately. It's to be blamed on the parents. And that is part of the things that I will be talking about and the things that I speak about and teach about as I go into the school systems and homes and families and churches and things, talking about the real things that matter and how we as a society, a family, a community can start to implement positive changes of literacy, of spirituality, of growth and entrepreneurship into our families and our communities. We are about out of time. Thanks for joining, Jerica. You're a little late, but you can catch the replay. It's about 8:17. My cousin Jerica in Detroit has joined. Vanessa Barton. Hi, Vanessa. Vanessa works for the post office here in Memphis. She's been there over 30 years. Vanessa, is the post office around the country, are the workers being affected, the pay being affected? Are you guys still being paid? The United States postal system while the government is shut down? Could you let us know that before we sign off here? Vanessa has been my friend, my sister, since I moved to Binghamton in the 7th grade, and she is in management at the United States Post Office here in Memphis. Hi, Vanessa. Dolores Harris has joined. Thank you. I'm about to sign off, you guys. We've been on here since 8 o'clock, and we have been talking about the U.S. government shutdown in 2019. And I'm asking you guys, and we can continue for a little longer since some people have just joined. What do you think about the shutdown? Has it affected your family or people in your family or people that you know who are receiving government assistance? Do you know anybody that works for the airports, for the TSA, the Transportation Association Administration, or whatever you call it, who are the guards at the airports? Our airports now, they say thousands of people, the security at airports around the country have been furloughed or laid off or not coming to work because they have not been paid since December. My son in the Air Force says the military, they're still being paid. If you are retired, are you still getting your Social Security checks? Has that affected people who are getting Social Security or any type of government assistance? Pamela Houston says, no, I'm not directly affected, but the longer it lasts, it will affect us all indirectly. The FDA, yes. I saw a report, in travel, you say, I saw a report, as you guys may have seen, that the FDA is not being able to inspect the foods. And that scares me because we all don't grow nothing anymore today. We don't know how to grow a watermelon, plant a flower, or anything. And so the FDA is being affected. And if our food line gets supply is contaminated with the salmonellas and all the other viruses, if you will, or things that affect food, if it's not being inspected and it goes to the grocery store, then that's a plague. That could potentially be a really bad plague when the food supply is poisoned or contaminated with different diseases and things like that. So that's a big deal that affects all of us directly, truthfully. But they are having problems, especially inspecting the eggs, which The eggs are not natural in the first place. Neither are the chickens. But let me know if you guys have been affected by the shutdown. And also, let me know what you think about spending upwards of $20+ billion on building a wall to protect the American borders from Mexico and the Hispanics. Trump's reasoning is because, like I said earlier, one of the reasons that he says he wants to build a wall, and I'm getting stopped up here, is because Hispanics come over here illegally and undocumented, and they come over and make our American money doing the jobs that we no longer want to do, the lawn services, working in the farms, planting and plucking and harvesting the fruits and the vegetables, opening up restaurants and massage parlors and food trucks. There's a food truck just about on every corner here in Cordova. Every time I drive up and down Germantown Parkway, there is a Hispanic food truck selling Mexican food that I love to eat. And he's saying that we need this $1 billion wall to keep them out and to keep the drug cartel from smuggling drugs into America. When I say that the drug cartel is the pharmaceutical company here in America, there are more people hooked on pharmaceuticals than there are using illegal substances like cocaine, heroin, and the like. So I want to know your opinions. If you guys don't give me any more comments, we're going to end the show. This has been a great conversation today. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dennis Taylor, for your feedback at Taylor's Grocery there in Binghamton. He's been in business, the Taylor family, for I know about 50 years. I've been out of school 40, and so his dad on Taylor's in Binghamton since I can remember, since the 70s or maybe even the 60s. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Pamela. Those of you who have commented, made comments today, I do appreciate that. We are in a crisis here in America, you guys, and you may not be affected by it right now. You may not feel the effects right now financially or health in your health, but it's coming, you guys. The fallout from this, even when the government does come back up, and hopefully there will be some type of mutual agreement. Thank you, Beverly says, another successful show. Hopefully we can end this crisis, this shutdown, this government shutdown, because in the eyes of the global community, the government being shut down and us being at odds puts us in the light that where terrorists can tax. It's like our guards are down because people don't want to go to work. They're laid off. The military will soon be affected. We could become a state of martial law. Who knows? So many bad things can happen if we don't get back to business as usual or come to some type of agreement. Paula Weber has joined. Thank you, Paula. Dennis Taylor says, thanks for your wisdom and shout out, I believe you say. SO. Thank you guys so much. It looks like there's no more comments, and we are about 8:30, approaching 8:30. This time goes by so fast. I do want to say a few things before I do sign off. I'm thanking everybody for tuning in today. That this is a U.S. problem. It is a problem about us. That's for us. Us has to do something. Not just the United States, but us, we the people, because I believe that we should get together and form a coup and overthrow Trump. But that's not the gift that God told me to do, but I believe that we have the power to do that, to overthrow the Trump administration. But then we'd have another problem as if we overthrow his administration with a coup, who will take his place? Nobody wants to be president anymore because of all of the, like you say, you live in a bubble, the criticism, the constant 24-hour media, what you put your family through. Who would succeed him if he is impeached, or if we have a coup, or when his term is up, and hopefully he will not be re-elected? Those are things that we need to start thinking about, but we also need to start thinking about how we as a people, as a community, can pool our resources together, like the Hispanics, like the Asians, like the Middle Easterners, who come here with the entrepreneur spirit to pursue the American dream of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and entrepreneurship, and become wealthy using our own gifts and trading with each other and bartering with each other. Those are things to think about. I thank you guys so much. I do want to make a couple of announcements. I am having the Yams book club meeting this particular Saturday. We are reading Becoming by Michelle Obama. I've only had a few people to actually RSVP. I know that it's a thick book. I put the announcement up before Christmas that this would be our first book selection for 2019. I'm starting my book club up again. I had it in Detroit for a few years, and I'm ready to get back to it. I'm reading this wonderful, wonderful book. We will be meeting this Saturday at my studio here in Cordova. The address is 8372 Mangrove at 4 p.m. from 4 to 6. It's going to be a 2-hour discussion. I would like to see more people there. If you can't come, that's fine. I'll go online later on Saturday, and we'll do some online discussions for the people who are around the world who have agreed to read the book. This should be required reading for students in high school and college and beyond. Everyone should read this book. It's absolutely empowering and enlightening to know the journey of what it took to become Michelle Obama. And we're going to meet that, like I said, Saturday from 4 to 6. We're going to have a great discussion. If you have not finished the book, at least if you've read at least half of it, come on out. Let me know that you're coming so I can know what kind of food I need to get and how much or whatever as some refreshments while we discuss this book. And then on Sunday, I'll be back at 6 o'clock p.m. You guys, I have on her name on Facebook is Favor Grace, but her name is LaShanta Fudd. We're going to continue the conversations about sexual predators. They are among us. They are in our families. They are our uncles, brothers, daddies, grandmas, grandpas, cousins, sisters, and brothers. And we're going to talk about sexual predators. We're going to kind of pick up where we left off with R. Kelly and the whole sexual cult thing that he's going through now, and the allegations, the women who've come out. We're going to talk about it on a personal level. I'm asking anyone who has experienced sexual predators in their families or their communities to come on, make comments, and if you'd like to come on the show eventually and talk about it, we're going to have this as an ongoing conversation because I myself have experienced sexual predators from a childhood up until now. Truthfully, I'm just a woman now and I know how to recognize them, but they are everywhere in every family. So we're going to have that conversation on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to the conversation. I'm looking forward to talking to LaShanta. She and I have great conversations on Facebook whenever I make a post or whatever. She has experienced domestic violence and abuse and sexual predators in her life. So have I. And we're going to talk about how we can protect our children so that our young girls and our young boys won't fall prey to people like R. Kelly and the people in our families, Uncle Bobo and them, and Reverend so-and-so and Deacon such and such, who are preying upon us sexually. So if there are no more comments, I do appreciate everybody for signing in today. This has been a great, great topic to talk about. It's not just about talking about it, but it's about raising awareness, and that's what I'm here to do. I do a thank you. If there are no more comments, let me make sure there are no more comments here. Yeah, there are no more comments. The last comment is Dennis Taylor says, thank you for your wisdom, and a shout out, I think is what SO means. These acronyms get me. But this is Ann from FIG Productions and the Yams Talk Show. I will see you guys on Saturday if you're the book club members coming over to my house to discuss the book, or I will see you, the audience, again on Sunday at 6 o'clock as we discuss sexual predators. Thank you. Have a good day. This has been wonderful.